Hi, welcome. My name is Orla, and this channel I will be reading short stories for children and adults who are interested. In this video, I'll be reading another story from Irish Myths and Legends. Lovely Irish book. These stories are retold or written by Joe Potter, and the fabulous illustrations are done by Erin Brown. This is going to be another Fionn story. This one is Fionn and the Dragon. And that's Fionn now. He's a little bit more grown up, these stories, than the other ones. So now, cuddle down, get cozy, and let's begin. Fionn and the Dragon. Long ago, when Fionn McCool was approaching manhood, the time came for him to leave his mentor, Finnegas. He had tasted the salmon of knowledge, and there was no more Finnegas could teach him. For many weeks, Fionn wandered around Ireland seeking adventures. He searched high and low, from Mallinhead to Kinsale, but found nothing. His life on the road was quiet and solitary, and Fionn began to wonder if there was any more adventures to be had. One day he saw a band of chieftains and soldiers and ran over to greet them. "Good day, men. Tell me, what is your quest?" Fionn called to them. "No quest," one of the chieftains said. "We are travelling to Tara for the great festival of Samhain. The great assembly is near." Fionn's heart sank. He wanted to go into battle or fight a monster. The great assembly meant peace for 6 whole weeks. No man was even allowed to raise a weapon in Tara during that time. However, Fionn was weary, and he greatly enjoyed feasting and singing. "I shall join you if I may," said Fionn. "Of course, if you want to risk it," said the chieftain, walking off. Fionn joined them in and asked what the chieftain had meant by his comment. One of the men spoke up. "Tara is a cursed place. Every year at the great assembly, an evil demon attacks the city." "What sort of demon?" asked Fionn. "It comes in the form of a fire-breathing dragon and sets all Tara aflame." Another soldier piped up in a terrified voice. "They call him the Burner. He is of the Tuatha De Danann, one of the old gods themselves. He is a demon of the underworld, straight from the Mag Mill. We're all doomed." "But why have the Fianna not killed it?" asked Fionn. "They're the bravest soldiers in the land." The soldier was tired of explaining. "Because the demon flies over and plays sweet music that sends every soul to sleep. The magicians have tried to stop it, but they are powerless," he said wearily. "I could kill it," said Fionn loudly. The soldier laughed. "Oh yes, and how are you going to fight it when you're asleep? No ordinary man can kill the demon." Fionn made no answer, but he smiled, for he was no ordinary man. By the time they reached Tara, Samhain had already started. The sun was going down behind the walls, and Tara twinkled with lights. As Fionn entered the castle, he saw people dancing around fires and making offerings to the spirits and fairies. People laid food and gifts outside their houses in the hope that this year the demon would leave Tara unscathed. People nearby started to sing. "Samhain, Samhain, let the spirits reign. Oh mercy, we ask you, Eilean. Come to take our gifts and offers made. Please accept the price as paid. Come take our gold and most precious spoils. but leave our castle free from toils. And there's Fionn. And the guys are all dancing, making their offerings at the party. Fionn was alarmed. All around people looked frightened, almost cowering, and even the horses pawed the ground nervously. This would not stand. Samhain was a time of joy and peace, when people welcomed the spirits and the fairies into the world with open arms. Fionn ran off to find the great hall, where the greatest warriors of Ireland were all seated with the king, brave and fearless. Fionn bounded into the hall and approached the king's high table. That's Fionn at the table. That's with the king. He eyed the Fianna's table and their leader, Gall MacMorna, as he passed. Gall looked back with a strange light of recognition in his eye. Fionn looked away and cleared his throat before the king. "Who approaches the high table so boldly?" asked the king, staring down at Fionn with a bored expression. Fionn spoke up so all could hear. "I'm Fionn, son of Cúil." The hall went quiet at his words, and every eye turned towards Gall MacMorna. Some years earlier, he had killed Fionn's father. Gall shifted uncomfortably in his seat. Fionn spoke again. "I have heard that an evil demon plagues your castle. Yes, every year at the assembly for 9 years, Erin of the Flaming Breath has set fire to Tara. What of it?" said the king. "I will slay the demon for you," shouted Fionn. Several people laughed, and even the king looked slightly amused. Although Fionn was tall and very strong, he was still young, and he had not yet grown a beard. "But I will only do it for a price." "If you kill Erin of the Flaming Breath, you may have whatever you wish," said the king sarcastically. Fionn looked Gall MacMorna right in the eye. "I wish to be leader of the Fianna." "Done," said the king. "Kill this demon for me, and your wish is my command." Fionn left the hall immediately to patrol the ramparts. As he climbed higher and higher, he noticed people everywhere with drooping eyes. He could hear the distant musical music of the He could hear the distant magical music of the fairy world. The demon must be near, he thought. The music was very beautiful. It was soothing and melodic and conjured up images of green fields and rolling waves in Fionn's mind. He suddenly felt tired and his knees slackened. He shook himself hard to clear his mind. He hurried on, determined to get to the demon before the music took him. Just then, somebody grabbed his arm, and Fionn looked back. A soldier stood there holding a strange spear. The metal on it was engraved with runes and encrusted with dark stones, and some silent power seemed to emanate from the weapon. That's Fionn with a spear. A cool spear. "I am Fiachra," said the man. "Your father was a dear friend of mine. For his sake, I give you this spear of enchantment. It is said that the spear will protect against any spell, but no one in the castle knows its secret. I am sorry not to be of any more help, but if you can work the spear, no evil spell will be able to harm you." Fionn tried to thank him, but Fiachra had already walked away. As Fionn watched, Fiachra collapsed and fell into a deep sleep. The demon Erin was here. Fionn placed his magical thumb in his mouth, and instantly he knew the spear's secret. He pressed the spear to his forehead, and any drowsiness he felt left him. He could hear the sweet, poisonous music from Aelin's mouth, but it had no effect on him. Up on the ramparts, Fionn looked down and saw people all over the castle slumped in odd positions where they had fallen asleep. He alone stood tall. The sky was dark and still. Fionn's keen eyes scanned the horizon for Aelin. The music grew louder and louder, filling the whole castle. Then Fionn saw him, a monstrous dragon, flying out of the clouds straight at him. Aelin was a fearsome winged beast, 20 metres long, with blood-red scales as hard as steel, and long, vicious teeth that glistened in the darkness. As he sped towards Fionn and the castle, the demon opened his jaws wide and spat a blistering jet of fire at Fionn. Okay, that's the dragon. Big red dragon going for Fionn. Fionn ducked and the flames missed him, but set fire to a barrel. He noticed that Fiachra lay nearby and hurried over to put out the fire with his cloak. Aelin spouted fire here and there. He set stables alight and incinerated market stalls. He melted iron statues and sent wagons flying. But Fionn was right behind them, putting out every fire he saw. He covered the flames with his cloak or doused them with water as fast as Aelin could set them alight. Aelin looked back in fury. Who was this mere human who seemed impervious to his music? He sang as loud as he could, but the music had no effect. Incensed, Aelin flew straight at Fionn. Fionn stood his ground, taking careful aim. He knew the daemon's scales were too strong to pierce, so he waited until Aelin was right upon him. The demon's jaws opened, ready to eat Fionn whole. With all his might, Fionn threw the magical spear. His aim was true. He managed to pierce Aelin right under one of his blood-red scales. And this is Fionn fighting the dragon. Go on, get him, Fionn. The daemon fell to the ground, howling, and lay withering upon the ground. Without a second thought, Fionn ran over and chopped off Aelin's head with his sword. A last jet of flame shot from Aelin's neck, and then the daemon lay dead upon the ground. Fionn staggered back to the castle with the head and held it up in triumph. Very slowly people started to wake up. They wandered around in a daze, wondering why there was no more damage to the castle. What happened? The king ran out into the courtyard and saw Fionn with the dragon's head in his hand. "You did it, my dear boy! I can never thank you enough," he said, wringing his hands. All around people were cheering, shouting Fionn's name. "What about our bargain?" asked Fionn. "I'm a man of my word," said the king. "You shall be the new leader of the Fianna, as your father was before you." "Gull Mac Morna," he called, "step forward." Gull appeared out of the crowd and stepped towards his king. "Yes, your majesty," he said. "Gull, do you accept Fionn McCool as your new leader?" Gull looked at Fionn, then bowed his head. "I accept you as the leader of the Fianna. You've done what no other man could do. You are truly a hero." And Gull knelt down before Fionn. One by one, the other members of the Fianna emerged from the crowd and joined Gall on their knees before their new leader. And so it was that Fionn McCool became the leader of the Fianna and led them to greater deeds than had ever been performed before. Fionn's Fianna will always be remembered in Ireland. Right before we end, that is Gall kneeling before Fionn and the king. The end. That was another great story from Irish Myths and Legends. Till the next one. Bye bye.